I'm in mass manufacturing mode. On this machine, a gnome, but on these machines, well, let me just say, these are not gnomes. I wonder what they could be.
Good morning, everybody. It's Stephen here for Bland Designs and the Idiot Quilter, and welcome to my weekly vlog number 333 for October the 9th, 2023, and it's Thanksgiving Monday here in Canada, so today is a holiday. But when you're retired, like I am, every day's a holiday, right? So let's move on with what I have been up to. So I finished my gnome table runner, which I know you've already seen, but now it's completely done. I've got the binding on it and everything like that. So that one's done, and I've set it aside as possibly being a gift for someone down the road. I don't know, maybe at Christmas or sometime like that. I like to have a few things in storage, ready to go at a moment's notice if I need a gift or anything, and it was kind of fun to do. Now this one, I just finished the top. This is a Christmas wall hanging. It's called Posh Santa, and there are a lot of curves, and I've got a frog. Excuse me. It has a lot of curves, but there was a special ruler came with it, and I'm going to be talking about that special ruler and why it's needed for this particular project. And some things, if I was to do this a second time, what I would do differently. But that's for tomorrow's Idiot Quilter, so we'll talk about that then. I'm also working on a table runner. It's an in the hoop design, but it's actually a file that does a block, a Dresden block, and actually over my shoulder you can see them. I wasn't really going to show these to you yet, and I'm still not. That's all you're going to get to see right now. But those things on black, I need to make 4 of those, and then I'm going to put them all together in a table runner. I'll add some sashing. I'll add some binding and not binding. What am I thinking? Sashing, borders. That's what I wanted. Borders. A little early here. 7:06. And get that all done. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about this tomorrow as well on the Idiot Quilter, because I'm going to talk about how you can take an existing design and kind of tweak it to make it something unique to your taste or style or for the person you're making it for. So, and I'm also working on the quilt choice that was made for me by all of you. You voted on which quilt I should do for the 4S Club collaboration. And again, I'll be talking about that tomorrow because I ran into a problem. Of course I ran into a problem. When don't I run into a problem? You know, that's why I call myself the Idiot Quilter, right? But anyways, all of those things belong on Idiot Quilter. They're all to do with quilting and sewing, and we'll talk about those more extensively tomorrow. So this is kind of a teaser for that, if you consider it a teaser. All right, let's move right into YouTube channel of the week. This is on the comic side. Well, it's both a documentary from 60 Minutes in Australia, and it's funny because there are clips from this person's life, actually clips from this person's character's life. And, well, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you will in a moment. This week's YouTube video is one that, well, if you haven't seen this personality before, you really need to do some research because you're missing out. This is Dame Edna, or as the person who plays Dame Edna is named, Barry Humphries. And Barry Humphries passed away not that very long ago, really. And he created this character many years ago that developed over time and is probably one of the most famous comic characters of all time. Barry Humphries is an Australian, and of course, Dame Edna, his most famous creation, is from Australia as well. This is a 60 Minutes interview that was done with Barry Humphries before he passed away, obviously. And he talks about Dame Edna. He talks about his life. He also talks about some of his other comic creations as well. But of course, Dame Edna is the one that's center stage of all of this. So after watching this interview, you might be tempted then to find some Dame Edna productions on YouTube, and there are many of them, as you can see over to the right hand side of the screen. Quite a few of them there as well. You'll really thoroughly enjoy Dame Edna, so check it out. So you'll find the link for that in the show notes below, as you will find links for all the past week's videos that I created, links to my friends' YouTube channels, and there is a link to Sewing with Stephanie and Stephen, which happens every Wednesday. It starts at 9 a.m. Wednesday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. So all that good stuff's there. There is, of course, a link to the video I made a few weeks ago explaining the Idiot Quilter Retreat. We'll come back to that in a moment. I'll say some more about that. And yeah, so there's lots there. Check out the show notes, because there may be some links there that'll be of interest to you. And also, there's a way to contact me if you need to in the show notes. So that takes me to looking outside my window. Now, I told you a moment ago, it's about 7:06 in the morning, now 7:09 while I'm recording this. And yeah, so it's dark because it's fall. And it is fall. We have been enjoying really nice weather. I don't know if you want to call it Indian summer or what. It just seemed like a carryover from the hot summer we've had right up until yesterday. Yesterday, things took a turn. And I'm not going to say a turn for the worse. I'm going to say a turn for the season, because you would expect this. So we were averaging highs in or close to around the 2021 mark Celsius. Today, right now, the temperature is 7 degrees Celsius. And the high is 11 degrees Celsius. That is seasonal. It's also supposed to rain starting at about 8 o'clock this morning. I don't know if it's going to rain for the whole day. It doesn't look like it. But they are showing on my little weather app here that it's going to be windy too as well. And then it's going to start raining again at 5 o'clock, 30% chance. So yeah, the days are growing shorter. Sunset's at 6:42 now. Sunrise is at 7:22. So yes, the days are getting shorter, which is normal for the northern hemisphere, and the weathers are getting cooler. And I actually had to put on pants. Well, I always wear pants, so get your little minds out of the gutter on that one. I mean shorts. And I had to put on socks. And I had to do that yesterday when we went over to my sister's for dinner. And I had to put on my jeans, and I had to put on socks, and I had to put on regular shoes. And I hate that. I would rather be in my shorts all the time and barefoot. But yeah, if I lived in Florida, that might be a possibility. But since I live in the frozen north, not so great. You know, nothing puts a damper on your day than frostbite on your toes. So, yeah, it's back to dressing again. And jackets. I had to dig out my jacket. Oh, God, I hate jackets. Well, I am still wearing short sleeve shirt, though. Yeah, I'm not giving into that yet to get into long sleeve shirts. But it's coming. It's coming. So, and along with that, too, it's time to get out there and get the rest of the stuff off the container garden plants, because we could have frost. And yeah, we've got some stuff out there that's still very good, our peppers and things. So yeah, later today I think we'll be harvesting all of that. Okay, so what's pissing me off this week? All right, I have to start this with a little note. This is going to sound racist, okay? And I don't mean it to sound racist or discriminatory. I'm trying to state exactly what happened and why it upsets me. And it does involve a different culture than my own, okay? So I want to say that right off the bat, because there isn't a positive way to speak about this. It's going to come out negative no matter what I say. And I'm not trying to be negative, but I'm trying to be real. So what am I talking about? Okay. The doorbell went off. I went to the door, and there was a young lady standing there. She was wearing a bright red t-shirt that said Rogers. Rogers is one of the two major telecommunication companies that we have in Canada. They're both crap, quite frankly, especially in their customer service, but Rogers is even crappier than the one I use. I used to be with this telecommunications company many, many years ago, so I know of what I speak. They're just horrible. And you ask, well, a lot of people in this country, you're either a Bell fan, which is what the provider is for me, Bell Canada, or you're a Rogers fan. Actually, I don't know if I should use the word fan. It's more like a love-hate relationship with both of these companies. We love to hate them because they just stink and they abuse us, and they're about one step above a scammer. And this is what I'm about to talk about. Now, this young lady was there, very nicely put together, young, attractive, clear-spoken, given the fact that she was not a Canadian. Okay? And she came from one of those countries that we infamously get calls from all the time wanting to clean our ducts, or tell us that our computer is not running properly, or that our bank accounts have been compromised, or our credit cards have been compromised, or all this kind of stuff. You know what I'm talking about. I don't think there's anybody on the face of this planet, at least in North America, that hasn't had those calls on a regular basis, or emails, or text messages. Okay? So I have to admit that as soon as I saw this young lady at the door, and even though she was wearing a t-shirt with the name of a legitimate company, the heckles on my back of my neck went up. Because, what are you going to try and sell me today? So I figured I'd save her the heartache of me just shutting the door in her face. I said, "Hi, I see you're from Rogers." She'd already started in her spiel. I had to kind of be a little bit rude and interrupt, talk over her, and say, "I am not interested. I am happy with my provider. Thanks very much. Have a nice day. Go away. Drop dead." Kind of thing. I didn't say that last part. I thought it. Well, no, that did not deter her. She was determined she was going to get in her what she wanted to say. Okay, fine. I figured, let her spew. Well, but I wasn't in the mood. I just wasn't in the mood, so I didn't let her spew. I said, no. I said, what part of no do you not understand? I am not interested. Well, can I ask you why? Bad question to ask me. Yes, and I listed about 5 things that company is bad at, mostly customer service. And I said, and that's why. I'm not dealing with it. So thanks very much. Have it. Well, and then she started in on something else. Like, it's just like one of those scammers on the phone. If you give them an inch, they will take a mile, and they won't shut up. They'll talk over top of you. That's what she was doing. But now she was bringing it down to something a little more personal. First of all, she turns around and says, "Well, if I don't make these sales, I don't get paid." Not my problem. And that's basically what I said to her. I said, "Well, maybe you should." I said, "You're young. You look like you have it all with you. So why don't you get another job? It is Canada. We have a lot of jobs available here. So you don't have to do this one." And I thought, by looking at her and her age, I thought she might be a university college student. We have lots of those in our town because we have a university and college here. So I thought maybe she's here on a student visa, and I had just finished watching a documentary about the fact that these foreign students are being scammed by people in their own country, making it sound like everything's going to be rosy when they get here to Canada, and that Canada's going to look after them. So I thought she might be that. So for a moment I was taking a little bit of pity on her. But then she started to say, "Well, where are you from?" I said, "I'm a Canadian. I'm a 6th generation Canadian." Well, she said, you people, okay, well, we come here from another country and looking for a better life and everything, and you're not providing it for us." Whoa. What does that mean? Actually, I should have done this. Whoa. Yeah, I just thought I'd throw that in there. Just a second. You are not my responsibility. I didn't ask you to come here. Oh, wait, that's wrong. Our government did. Our government said anybody who claims that they're a refugee, that their life's in danger in another country or whatever, can come here. And I've already talked about the refugee problem we've got. It's all across North America. It's not just Canada. The United States are suffering from this too. There's no money to support them or whatever. And you want to know something? Why should we be supporting them? I mean, Walter said when his parents immigrated to Canada back in the 50s, and other people that he knew that immigrated to Canada, they had to have a sponsor. You had to have a job waiting for you when you got here. There were regulations, but now in Canada it doesn't seem to be that way. We just let anybody in. And then this young lady, had the nerve to throw the burden on my shoulders for her life. I'm not my brother's keeper. Okay? It's not my fault. I'm sorry for you. But that's all I can be. What do you want me to do? Bring you into my home? Feed you? Find you a job? And she was going on about how difficult it was to find a job. No. Well, it's not easy. You got to go. You got to apply and everything like that. But it was the gall of this girl trying to talk over top of me, like one of the scammers on a telephone, and blaming me because if I didn't switch over to Rogers, she wasn't going to have enough money for food and housing and was going to die on the streets alone. That's what it was like. Yeah. And this is the part where I said, it becomes very close to stepping over the line on racism. It's not my fault that you come from a horrible country. But your people over in that country, your people, like my people, your people kind of thing, they're the ones that are calling me at all hours of the day and nights trying to scam me, who are sending me horrible emails and the whole bit. Yeah, maybe not her, but we've had so much of this, it's very difficult to see anybody from that part of the world in a positive light. Compound that with the whole refugee problem we have here, which actually could have been handled if our federal government had basically closed the door or put higher regulations on getting into this country. Other countries in the world just don't let you come in mamby-pamby. Here, Australia, it is not easy to get into. But Canada, oh, sure, we have lots of room. Yeah, most of it's under snow, but, come here. We'll look after you. We're not looking after our own people. We have our own homeless people that need help, and that's a problem, too, on top of it all. So, the gall of this girl. So next time, no, I've got a Ring doorbell. The camera comes on. If I see somebody standing on my doorstep that looks like they're trying to sell me something, I'm not going to answer the door. It's not worth it. So, yeah, that kind of put a damper on my week because, every time you turn on the news, there's a problem with the refugees, with scammers, the whole bit. What's happening to the world? And you try to be nice, you try to be kind, you try to do what you can do for them, and you just get dirt kicked into your face. So, yeah, there's a cheery note for today. Okay, let's get off this topic and move on, shall we? All right, let's talk about new products that I bought. Well, I made another Temu purchase, and I am absolutely loving this purchase. I saw this bag was reviewed by someone else on YouTube who does a lot of Temu unboxings. And this particular one that I go to, he talks a lot about electronics from Temu. And I have to say that everything I have bought from Temu, with the exception of one thing, and that's these, I'll just show you here, behind me. Oh, I turned them off. I had that strip of lights. They don't seem to work all that well. They were working, but I think they're not working so well now. Anyways, I bought this. I have, and who doesn't, in this day of electronics, a lot of cords, a lot of, charging cables and things like that. And if you're like me, you just sort of kind of throw them in a drawer, and when you need one, you go searching through your pile and hoping you've got the right one. Well, this is a little organizer bag, and this is what it looks like inside. And it's got a lot of space for a lot of things. It's got 2 levels. There's a second level. Lots of pockets, lots of these elastic type bands across, and it was like about $16 Canadian to buy it. So I don't think I took a picture. Oh yeah, here's the back of it, another pocket there. I didn't take a picture of what it looks like with everything in it, but it holds a lot. So I now have all my cables and everything related to my iPhone, my iPad, even my computer and that, all in one little bag. And the beauty of this is I can pop this into my suitcase or into my carry-on whenever we're traveling, and I've got a cable and connectors for every occasion in this. So I'm really pleased with this particular purchase that I made. Now, the other thing that I bought, and if I can just call it up here, is, or I'll insert it actually, is, okay, you're going to laugh at this because this has nothing to do with electronics or with 3D printing or with quilting. It has to do with this, my beard. Beard oil. And yeah, you're going to say, well, why are you talking about beard oil? Well, you know, I love it. And I'm going to insert a little video I made about this product for you. So what I purchased in the past week may seem very strange to many of my viewers, since many of my viewers are female. And this is definitely a product for men. Well, I suppose women could use it, but then you've got a problem. What I'm talking about is beard oil. Now, you're going to think, beard oil? What's that all about? Well, I used to think that too. I started growing my beard just when COVID started, and I kind of like it. And I've had this beard now for a few years, and I have no intention of shaving it off. However, according to my hairdresser, there is some things one needs to do besides just trimming your beard. And one of those is to condition it with beard oil. Now, I thought at first, yeah, really, this stuff isn't really cheap, and you don't get a large quantity of it when you buy bottles of it. And I thought, yeah, does this make a difference? Well, actually, it does. And if you men have never tried beard oil, you really should. It actually makes your beard nice and soft. It feels good. You can buy this in different scents. I buy one that's fairly neutral in scent, and this is the one of my choice. I've tried several different ones, and there are different ones that you can buy as well, but I like the L'Oreal Paris because I'm worth a little bit more for this. But I really like this, and I have found the best price for it is on Amazon. If you buy it at a place here in Canada called Shoppers Drug Mart, you're going to pay closer to $20 for a bottle of it. And as I said, the bottles are not very big. So you don't use a lot of it, but depending on how frequently you use it, I use it once a day. I apply it in the morning when I get up, when I'm doing my bathroom routine, and it usually lasts me a bottle of it for a month, month and a half, about that. So yeah, it is something I really like, and I thought I would share that information with you for anybody out there that has a little hair on their chinny chin chin. So I know that many of my viewers are ladies, and you probably don't need beard oil. At least I'm hoping you don't need beard oil. But you probably have husbands or boyfriends or significant others or males in your life that may have beards. And if they're not using beard oil, they should try it. Not sponsored by any of this. I'm just telling you what I like. And, you know, it was recommended to me by my hairdresser, and I thought she was just full of crap. But no, she's not. It does. It really has an effect. Okay, so that takes me to gardening. Okay, so now we're thinking about, you know, okay, putting more effort now into the grow lights and things like that. Walter planted some new lettuce, and here it is. Actually, it's getting a little overgrown. I need to do some harvesting of this later today, and we'll get some more seeds in, and we'll get in some herb seeds as well, and grow some more peppers indoors and everything like that. And we've learned a lot in the last year since we've had all of this. And yeah, we're going to carry on with this through the winter. So if all goes well, I should never have to buy salad or lettuce or anything throughout the winter. Or for the most part, hopefully I won't have to buy peppers either. And those two items are expensive in the grocery store now. So this is coming along nicely. Now you can see this one, I have already kind of harvested. There's some new growth there, but we're going to wipe that out and rejuvenate these and get them going. And of course, speaking of peppers, these are the peppers we've been growing under our lights. You can see we've got a red one. These yellow ones turn into these red ones. And you can't see it, but there's one, if you look down into this corner, I don't know if you can see my little cursor, there's one that looks almost black. That's a purple pepper. And we grew one outside. There it is. This is outside. I haven't picked it yet. I have no idea what it's going to taste like. Apparently, Walter did some reading about this, and this is a variety of pepper. We had sort of a mixed thing of seeds of peppers, and so some of them are purple, which we didn't know until this happened. But when you cut them open, supposedly they look like a green pepper inside. So I'm really curious, but it's really pretty. I don't really want to pick it, but I've got to pick it because, as I said, frost is coming soon, and I don't want to get frost on my peppers. Okay, there's a joke in there. Yeah, never mind. So, yeah, things are going well with that, and I've been looking for some other things to grow. I thought about garlic. I mentioned that a few weeks ago, but garlic will grow, but the problem is it smells. Like it really has a strong scent, and I don't want my house smelling like, someone didn't take a bath for a year, kind of a thing. And maybe some hot peppers would be fun. Try that, like chili peppers, that kind of thing. And we'll probably try and grow some more scallions as well. They seem to do okay. And I was watching a YouTube video, and I have tried this, and it does work. When you're in your grocery store and you pick up some scallions or even celery, oh yeah, something else I want to try to grow. You can start it from what you buy in the produce department. Celery, you can root because it is a root vegetable. And all you have to do is when you take it home and you're cleaning it or that, cut off the stalk bottom, set it up in a glass of water like you would with an avocado pit kind of thing. And, holding it up a little bit in the water, and it'll start to root, and then you can plant it. In fact, I did that, and it was growing. Then Walter killed it. He overwatered it. Yeah. But I think I'll try another one when I get another stalk of celery. Actually, I have a stalk of celery. Must do that. So that, and I don't know, we're looking for a few other things. I don't know if we're going to grow tomatoes under the lights. They take a long, long time under the lights, and to be honest, they didn't turn out that well. Although I said to Walter, it might have been the variety we had. So maybe we'll try something else. I thought I had bought dwarf tomatoes from Amazon. That's what it said the seeds were. Well, they weren't dwarf. They were the ones we ended up putting outside. I didn't take a picture of what things look like outside. You saw that last week. Everything's looking kind of dead. There's still some stuff on. There's still a few more tomatoes. Got to do something with those too. Okay, before they start to rot on us. They're in the fridge right now. I might do some more sauce out of them. Walter says he wants to make soup. So, he can use the stuff that I make as sauce, the base of it, for soup base as well. So, and we're talking about like taking some of these peppers and making them into stuffed peppers because, with a combination of hamburger and rice and spices and things like that, even a few bits of tomatoes chopped up into it, you can do those and you can freeze them, and they freeze well. And then you just nuke them out of the freezer. And I like stuffed peppers. So yeah, I think we might do a batch of those later today. Got to get on with this. Yep, I keep saying that. I did on the weekend, cleaned up underneath the deck, our seating area, put the cushions, freshened up the cushions, everything, put them in the dryer. Our dryer has a steam setting, and steamed them, and then put them away in their great big huge, not Tupperware, but what do you call it, Rubbermaid box we have underneath the deck in our sitting area, out of the way where I store the cushions, and put a great big heavy patio stone on top of the lid just to keep the critters from getting in there and eating them, because the chipmunks, when it gets cold, they look at cushions and go, ooh, stuffing. And they rip the little crap right out of our cushions and build nests with them all. So yeah, mice, they like them too. So yeah, that's all cleaned up now. Don't have to worry about it. Better get the umbrella in from the patio deck. Just thought about that now, and it's going to rain. Don't want a wet umbrella. So yeah, the things you have to do for the fall season, you know. Again, if we lived in a nice warm climate, this stuff could sit out all year round. Not a problem. Okay, so what else is coming up? Oh yeah, 3D corner. What have I been doing there? Well, I've been making some practical prints. I needed some battery cases. I have a thing for batteries. I always like to have a good supply of batteries. Walter's the same way. I throw them in a drawer, and then, you know, they're all disorganized. So some time ago, I had made some battery holders, but I needed more. So I made more. So I've got your AA, your AAA, your C cell, and your, D cell all in there. Although does anything take D-size batteries anymore? I don't think so. But I got the hiccups now. It figures. But anyways, yeah. So this is what I call a practical print. And this is also a practical print. Okay, you know, I've shown you pictures of my philodendrons in the kitchen. My COVID philodendrons, I call them, because I started them from cuttings off my mother plant, as I call her, the mother plant that we've had for a long, long time. Walter just gave it a haircut the other day, trimmed it all back, and I took those and I'm rooting those pieces that came off it as well. I might be obsessed with philodendrons, but the problem is I make pots to put the philodendrons in, but some of the pots leak at the bottom. So I found a design for this, and I made these trays, and they fit underneath my pots, and you'll notice they have little bumps, ridges in the center, which lift the pots up a little bit so they're not sitting in the water, and they're working dandy. Now I need to make a couple of more of these, and yeah, so they take a while to print. They take about 21 hours each one to print, but they are serving their purpose. So you see, you can make practical things with your 3D printer. Okay, so that takes me to Blast from the Past trips. We are working currently, and when I say we, I mean Walter, on plans for our trip in the spring to Australia again. To date, we have our flights, and that's all. And we know we're going to Sydney, and we know the dates when we're going and when we return home. But everything in between all that, we're not sure on yet. We're still trying to figure that all out. What we're going to do, what we're going to see, how we're going to get to different places. Australia's a big country. It's as big as the United States. So, you know, it doesn't look like it on the map. But when you travel from one spot to another, it is a bit of a hike. But anyways, I'll keep you informed about what we plan as time goes by. But in the meantime, here is our trip in 2018 to Australia. And this is Melbourne, day 3. And this one is for you who like art, because this was one of the art galleries in Melbourne.
Okay, so it's Melbourne, day 3, and it's 9:39 in the morning here. You can see it's very sunny, very clear sky, not a cloud in the sky, and it's supposed to be about 36 today. Hot, and it is hot right now. So we're on our way to the National Art Gallery. Today is Art Day. So I think this is the concert hall because they advertise the symphony here, Hammer Hall. And just looking around here, and then there's this thing with the big tower, and this lights up at night, and we're still not sure what it really is. What, underneath this tower? Okay, so that's where we're headed. Oh, we're headed beyond this. Okay, well, you can see up there how that goes. And sometimes it helps if you read signs. So it's the Arts Centre in Melbourne is where the that pointy thing is, and here's what it says, and I'm probably going to get a glare on here. It says, Melbourne arts walk artist Simon Linon and Edmund Carter took inspiration from an imagined spotlight shining down from the Arts Centre, Melbourne's famous spire, casting pools of light onto the walkways below. Spotlights are synonymous with performance. The light they cast illuminates performers and stage drawing in captivating the audience. The ephemerality of lighting is reflective of the constant invigoration of the creative process. It is ever changing, ever moving. Melbourne Arts Walk places a spotlight on those who have made a significant contribution to the performing arts at Arts Centre, Melbourne. So there you go. So that's what that thing is all about.
And lights up at night.
Yeah, I mentioned that. And also lights up at night. I'll have to try and get it. Maybe tonight we can get some of the lights when we come back from, because tonight we're doing our trolley dinner that we have booked. So we will see the lights down on the waterfront on our way back, because we haven't done that yet. And so this is the National Gallery. The entrance to it. It's not open yet. It's in about another 12 minutes. So we're going to go inside and get altered. Here, look at me. Ooh, scary. Waterfall. Scary. Waterfall.
Probably look better on behind the window.
Yeah, probably. So this is inside the entrance to the art gallery. Kind of impressive. So we're just starting our tour, so I don't think I'll talk much through most of this. We'll get the idea as we go through. And here we have string art.
Just make sure there's nothing in the gallery, photography only. Photography only, video and gallery.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we just came out of the art gallery, and wasn't allowed to take video in there, although you might see in here I slipped in a couple little quickies. So I've got a lot of pictures and things which I'm going to put in here as a slideshow. And now, after you've seen the slideshow, you can see that we're on our way to a place called Spotlight. Spotlight is a store that has, well, it's sort of like a Michael's, Joann's and those kind of things. A craft store with material and fabric and all kinds of other things. So anyways, we've heard about it on YouTube videos. Now we're going to see it.
So that takes me to events in the past week. And well, this was exciting. Our window has finally been replaced. You know, the ongoing saga that we've been dealing with since January. They finally came. It was the right size. They put it in. It looks good. Now, are we out of the hot water right now? Maybe. Time will tell. As the weather gets cooler and there's fluctuations in temperature between the outside and the indoors, will the window fog up? That was the problem. The seal was not proper in it. Because you see, apparently, Walter told me, they suck all the oxygen out of the window and replace it with, I want to say nitrogen, but I don't know if it's nitrogen. It's something else, some other gas that does whatever it's supposed to do. Well, the other window, we had a leak in that, and that's why the window was fogging in between the panes or whatever, the layers of the glass, which is not right. So hopefully this one won't do that. If it does, oh yes, you're going to hear clunk, 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 because that'll be heads rolling. Because I will be going in there and taking them off. Yeah. But anyways, right now we're happy. And that's good. Another thing that made me happy, and you're going to laugh at this, I got an oil change on my car. Now, let me back this up a bit. I hardly ever drive my car. We usually take Walter's. Walter does the driving. It's driving Miss Daisy, as you've heard me say before. I'm not a fan of driving. I'm not afraid to. I can, but as I get older, if someone else is going to drive me to places, I am all for that. I enjoy being driven, thus driving Miss Daisy. However, my car has not had an oil change since 2019. Now, before you start yelling at the screen here and telling me, you idiot, why you can't do that, you're going to wreck your car. Yes, I know all those things. I have synthetic oil. Don't yell at me and say, it doesn't matter whether you have real oil or you have synthetic oil, you still have to do it on a regular basis. I am quite aware of that. But COVID hit. And also I have a Honda Civic. It's a 2008. It's a 15-year-old car. Still runs fine. No problems with it. Still looks good. The whole bit. Well, most of the time the car lived in the garage, right? But now it can't because Walter's car's in the garage all the time because his new baby, so mine's been pushed out to the elements kind of a thing. Poor thing. Anyways, I need an oil change. And I've been putting it off and putting it off. Also, I have some problems with my wheels. I think it's the rims. They're the original rims from 2008. They do corrode over time, and that causes the seal to break and air comes out of your tires. And that's exactly what's been happening with mine. Now, it's been very slow leak kind of a thing. And anytime I need to drive the car, like to go to the hairdresser, so like once a month, Walter goes out, he checks the tire pressure, and we have a compressor, and he tops them up a little bit. It's not a major leak, but it's there. Okay? So I finally said, all right, fine, let's deal with this. And I bought my tires. Last time I had my tires, I bought my tires at Costco. I went online to Costco. I booked an appointment. And while I was booking the appointment for them to look at my tires and everything like that, I noticed they do oil changes. I didn't know that. So I immediately booked for that too at the same time. Well, I have to say, and we talked a little bit about this on Stephen and Walter Live yesterday, so I won't go into more details, but I have to say customer service was excellent. The guy in the tire place, he went beyond and above what you would expect. It cost me nothing for him to look at the tires and fix them as best he could because they were under warranty still. Costco's warranties are damn good. And an oil change with tax, $67, and they use synthetic oil, exactly what I had in there. So definitely taking it to Costco when I need an oil change the next time. Probably won't be until about 2030. Yeah, I know. Don't be yelling at me. But as far as the tires are concerned, though, he had problems with one of them. He couldn't get it to seal properly or whatever, and he tried 5 different times. I mean, the poor guy, that's what I said, he went beyond and above. I know what the problem is. I told him this. I think I probably need new rims. And he says, yes, you do. And I said, fine. Do you sell them? He says, well, you can buy them online from Costco.ca. And I said, well, do they ship them to you? And then I just make arrangements. He says, no, unfortunately, they don't ship them to us. They'll ship them to you, but you just make an appointment. We'll put them on. He says, they don't weigh that much. Throw them in your car. It's not a big deal. So that's what I've done. I have ordered them. They may come this week. And as soon as they come, I will go online. I will book an appointment and I'll get that all fixed up. It'll probably cost me something for them to put them on. I'm sure of that. That is okay. And the price wasn't bad for 4 new rims. I was expecting $1,000. No, rims are cheap. With tax and everything, it cost me less than $300 for 4. Like for all 4, $300. So really, I'm not complaining about that. And I don't imagine installation is going to cost me all that much. Maybe $100, $150. I have no idea. But that's okay for peace of mind. So, I mean, like I said, it's a 15-year-old car, but it still runs well. In fact, the guy even said that. He says, your car, for the age of it, he says, this car runs really well. I said, yeah, I know. Doesn't have much mileage on it. Just went over 70,000 kilometers. Okay. So, you know, that's less than, that's what, about, I think that's less than 60,000 miles on it. So, yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so that made me happy. That made me happy. And on top of it all, I won a basket. Yep, there was a draw from that shop hop. Each shop that was participating in it had a basket, and you put your name in for the draw. Well, I won one from Quilters Inn. And, okay, it's kind of funny. It's kind of sad. And you'll find out why tomorrow on The Idiot Quilter when I reveal my winnings for you. So stay tuned. Okay, so what's coming up? Well, just an update on the retreat. You know that we are full, but I still have a waiting list. I only have a couple of names on the waiting list, so there is a good chance that if you snoozed and lost on this one, and you really want to go, let me know as soon as possible, and I'll put you on the waiting list. And because there's going to be people, we've got 2 weeks before the retreat, so there will be somebody else who will drop out, within that time period. So I'll be able to fill it with the waiting list people. Those of you that are on the registration list, just a reminder, the deadline for sending me one picture in JPEG format of one of your favorite creations, whatever that is October the 14th, which is next Saturday. After that, I will not be accepting any more pictures. I need time to put the slideshow together, and it takes a while, as you can imagine, because I'm dealing with, well, if everybody sent me a picture, it would be 93. So, and they've been coming in fast and furious in the last little while. So, yeah, so by next Saturday, that's the cutoff. If I don't have something from you, then, and it's not an obligation for you to send one to me, but it just means you won't be part of that slideshow if you really want it to be. So, again, as I always say, you snooze, you lose. And so next week, everybody that's registered will be getting an extensive email that's going to have the agenda for the day. You'll know who the presenters are, what they're presenting, when they're presenting. There'll be some information about the technical side of things in case you're new to Zoom, how to connect with whatever device you're using, that kind of thing. So it'll all be laid out there for you, along with information about the Friday night cocktail icebreaker party that I always have. So stay tuned. That one's going to come out. I'll probably send that email out this coming weekend as well. So watch for it. Okay, so that's about it. Lots of things for me to do this week, as there always is. Never bored. Lots of projects to work on. And be sure to tune in to Idiot Quilter tomorrow if you want to hear more about my projects and about that basket and about some other interesting things that are best talked about on the Idiot Quilter. And of course on Friday, So Chatty's going up, and I think our topic this week is going to be YouTube etiquette. And basically, it's going to be us bitching about what people write or what people do on YouTube, lives especially, but other ones as well. And not just on people who subscribe, but also other creators, including ourselves. Yeah, so stay tuned for that. And of course, Stephen and Walter Live will be on this coming Sunday, regular time, 4 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so hope to see you on the YouTubes, and have a great week, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye for now.